Alright, testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, testing 1. Cool. Alrighty, so welcome back, fellow scouts and members who wish to watch this thing that I am slowly progressing with my Warlock. So, today, since we remember from the other day, we will be going to go get our Fell Hunter, that dog little thing that Warlocks get. And as you may have all remembered from last time, I forgot to pick up the book. Like an idiot. So, we're gonna go do that. So, the plan is we're gonna go to Redfoot Hills again, and we're just gonna go in a circle, ending with, hopefully these guys down here, even though it looks like they're elite. So we'll see if we'll be able to take on those. We should be fine, because if I remember, that bunker's not too hard. It's just a grind. Like, it's a little bit difficult, and also if there's other people there, it's a lot easier than if you were to do it by yourself. However, that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do. So, here we go. Lovely. Gold 10 from the auction house. Always good to start off with. Okay, where's Flight Point? Yes. There's Flight Point. Hello. Demi-Viren. Demi-Vion. Demi-Viman.
What would you ask of death?
For any of you curious, as you looked at my schedule kind of recently, I updated it, so it should say, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what we're gonna be doing, throughout the week. And, like, you might have seen on Mondays, we're gonna be, like, having a girlfriend edition. And that's because yesterday, being Monday, was the first time that Mrs. Fervor was the hold on. Yes, that was the first time Miss Fervor joined us and played World of Warcraft. It was her first time ever playing. We didn't stream it. We decided against it because there was going to be a lot of tutorial work, and I was having to bounce between this computer and her computer, which we had set up over there. And so we had to basically figure all of that out. I had to get her set up with add-ons and stuff like that. She doesn't have her own account, so she was borrowing my dad's account, because he's the one who introduced me into World of Warcraft when I was very, very little. Like, when I was, like, 2. But, yeah, she ended up liking the game. Yay. Also a little bit of a surprise. But she did end up liking the game. She enjoyed it. Tons and tons and tons of questions. However, it shows she has somewhat of an aptitude for it. And she did. Her hardest thing was camera control. She has never played computer games before, so that was difficult, to say the least, as far as teaching her how to play and whatnot. But it was good, you know, it was fun, and she was happy about it. She chose Mage, and started playing a Mage. That was surprising. Surprising for me, at the very least, because I would have thought she wanted to pick a different class, like healer. I mean, not trying to put her in, like, a little category or anything, but my mom plays healer. my aunt, she plays healer. I feel like healer is like a easier class. However, she knows nothing about the game. And I didn't want her to feel pressured to play anything or put her in a little bubble where like, oh no, you have to play healer because this is an easier class to play or something like that. I told her, hey, pick what you think looks cool. So I literally just put her onto the game, sat her down, told her to hit the create new character button, and said, good luck. Have fun. Because I feel like with World of Warcraft, a lot of it is discovery, and a lot of it is the like nuance of playing and learning as you go. That's part of the reason why we're doing a Warlock playthrough. I've played Warlock before, but I hardly ever play Horde. It's just not something I'm used to playing, so every single time I level up with Horde, it's like, I don't know where to go, whereas if like I was playing Alliance, no matter where I'm starting, I kind of know what I need to do for the first 40 levels, which takes us to Stranglethorn, mostly, and then into Gadgetzan, and then after Gadgetzan, you just kind of grind some things, and, yeah, you just grind stuff until you get into like Eastern Plaguelands or stuff like that, like doing Zul'Farrak runs. I mean, I guess you can go to like Dustwallow Marsh and stuff like that, or like Fellwood. Do these all drop the missive? I guess they do. This quest is a little bit different on Alliance. Like I said, it's what I play the most. But this quest on Alliance, you gotta kill like 14 of these guys and like 12 of the other guys. It's a similar quest, but here we just gotta pick up a document, like, and it looks like they just drop. So that should be easy. But yeah, she picked Mage, and that was really cool. Mage is a solid class. I ended up going with Priest. It was my first ever Priest. We died like 2 times due to mainly me not paying attention. But it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And she seemed to really, really enjoy it. And she thought the game was super fun. And when I asked her, hey, would you want to play this again? She was like, yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a good sign that we'll be doing that again. And then hopefully, of course, in the future, we'll be able to figure out something where we're playing more consistently, and like stream Mondays will be a thing. And I think that'd be really cool, because that gets her in on the action. We could even set up Discord, even though like we're sitting right next to each other. That way you guys are hearing her audio as well. And yeah, it should be really, really good.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
I just got polymorphed. Did I just get polymorphed by the mage?
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Did he just get killed? I'm sorry, what? What just happened? I'm actually genuinely confused. I don't I mean, I know they backstab. Did he get a backstab on the Voidwalker and like that's what killed him? I mean, I guess it could be, right? It's a possibility. These guys hit hard if you get hit in the back. But I just didn't think that would happen. Circle of Intellect. Very nice. Okay. But yeah, we got to like level 6, so we made it out of the start zone. And then did the pumpkin farm quests. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know where you are, but thank you. Appreciate it. Alistraza. Alistria. Says bring a mug. I killed him. But he didn't have a mug for me to collect. But yeah, on Alliance, you also have to collect these documents here that are on the table. And it makes it a whole lot harder because you have to clear out that entire encampment. And on Alliance, I usually play Paladin. That's like my main, I guess you could say. And so it's definitely a lot more interesting fighting as a Paladin where you have to run up and swing at them. However, I am a veteran of the game, so like yes, you can just use like dynamite to like just pull a couple, so it's not as hard. But if you're a single target and you're not doing the AoE thing, that was kind of like recently crafted with like Pally-Time and Jugs of Light. Those are YouTubers on YouTube that came up with a whole spirit AoE Paladin grinding things, and those guys were really pioneers when it came to theory crafting that. But anyway, if you're not doing that and you're just kind of doing retribution, like most paladins do, then it could put you in a bad spot. But yeah, she did a good job, all in all. I was not expecting level 6. Level 6 was a surprise to me. And we actually could have gotten an even higher level, but people were getting sore sitting in a chair so long. And so we decided against that, and we watched the Love Actually, or not Love Actually, Love is Blind show. It's a little thingy on the TV that my parents enjoy.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Louiebe 007, always just lurking in the chat. Welcome, welcome, of course. Good to see you again. The man who talks, or the man who watches but never talks. Hey! Welcome. That's funny. I do this every single stream, by the way, where I make the joke and that you're not actually watching and that your tab is just open. Oh, that's funny. Welcome. We got to level 33 today, or couple nights ago for the Warlock playthrough. That's funny that you're actually watching. As you can see, change of scenery. I'm in my room now, so I'm able to speak without, Would have been funny if this was the only time that you had said that. Yeah, it would have been a lot more funny. However, I do kind of make that consistent joke on my other streams that you just have a tab open. It's all good though. Hey, it helps my, what's it called? Viewability. It lets people know that I'm streaming basically, because how Twitch works, from what I've seen, is that it's based on view count, like active viewers who's watching versus like popularity. So like even somebody like Asmongold or Grubby or Tyler1 from like League of Legends or Warcraft or something like that, even if they've got, you know, 200,000+ followers, they're not going to be suggested over somebody who has like 10 viewers currently. So, helps out the stream. I don't mind. But yeah, no, it was definitely was funny. But yeah, we're level 33. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, for sure. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Whereas like on YouTube, I know it's like straight up popularity. Like even if you've got 200,000 views on a video, like if you've only got like 10 followers, it's not gonna matter. You're not that popular. That's why you kind of want to get into like a niche thing. But hit level 33. So a couple days ago, you missed it. We were going to get our Fell Hunter, which is like this demon dog looking thing for warlocks, and we went to the area where the book is. We clicked on the book to loot it, except
You need something?
sorry, I had to grab that like really fast. But except when
Spell isn't ready
we
yet.
were looting the book, a creature attacked us, a murloc, and interrupted us. And once we dealt with the fight, we got distracted and we ran off without collecting the book. So now we have to go fight all of those murlocs again and go all the way back down south on the map, which is down down in this left quadrant here, and we're all the way up here in the north. So it was just super funny because we were all getting prepared to summon it. I even went to the ritual
Isn't
pad,
ready yet. I can't cast
and they're like, man, the spell's like missing reagents. And I'm like, shoot. Like, that sucks. So yeah, we ended up, now we're here again. But that's okay, we're gonna go in a clockwise pattern and kind of clear out,
It's too far away. That spell isn't ready yet.
we're gonna clear out all these bad guys and get things sorted. That's true, you do get more XP, because we're gonna be grinding mobs and stuff like that.
Range.
So that is good. Yeah. Well, I mean, the fastest way of leveling up in this game isn't even quests. It is just grinding mobs, but it's boring. And if you can do it alongside quests, you will level up faster.
That's still recharging.
But like, if you're like a mage and you can AoE farm, where you're hitting more than one enemy at a time, it's so much free XP, it's ridiculous.
It's too far away.
Hey, we got the missive. Okay. Oh, well, we gotta pick up a mug, don't we? Trying to see if I can't cog something. I don't see a mug to pick up. I guess we just send it.
That spell isn't ready yet.
I'm still not seeing a mug. It says there's a mug from the drunken footpads. Oh, he hasn't spawned in yet. That's why.
I can't cast that yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Don't die. No! That actually sucks. We might die.
That's still recharging.
I mean, we're good at the game, so we can juggle 3 mobs without being in too much danger. However, it still sucks that our minion died, because it's a pain. And we need the drunken foot pads, so that we can give him a bottle of beer. Oh my gosh. Was that a backstab? That was just a melee?
That's still recharging.
Frick. How? Like, what? Okay. We're fine. Does the minion respawn after a certain amount of time? Or is it at a checkpoint? Or is it just gone? Forever. It respawns after a certain amount of time.
I can't cast that yet.
So yeah, so like usually, depending on what you're fighting, enemies will, oh, you're talking about my pet. Yes, so no, I will have to resummon the pet. The blue Voidwalker that's with me, I will have to resummon the pet. It's part of my, character. It's just a spell. Yeah, and it takes one of these, like, pink sharks, or not sharks, shards in my inventory. It takes one of those to resummon it. Which I get those from sucking the soul out of them with a spell. So, like, it's not too big of a deal, because, as you can see, I got him back, but, it sucks that he died, because it takes a ton of mana, and on top of that, if we just sacrificed him right before he was about to die, I would get effectively 773 overshield, kind of like in Marvel Rivals, where like you get the overshield for the one thing.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Like on what's his name?
I can't cast that yet.
I don't remember. The character, one of the characters gives shield. A lot of characters actually give the shield in Marvel Rivals. But like this purple beam right here, that's what gives me the pink shards. So as long as we cast that when somebody's about to die, it gives us the pink shards. So it's not a huge deal. It's just a small deal. I'm not seeing these drunken foot pads though. See a syndicate foot pad. But yeah, as far as enemies go, those guys, they respawn like every 5 minutes or so.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
So after you kill them all, it's basically just playing the waiting game for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's how, like if I'm just focused on one area, that's how the game works.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
It
I'm out of
can
range.
be a little bit more, like, intricate than that. Like, for instance, how the frick did he die? But, for the most part, the game goes based off of time, and as long as you're killing things like at an average pace, stuff will respawn as like you're killing things. However, because I'm a warlock, I can kill like 2 to 3 people at a time, depending on how good of a player you are, and I've been playing this for like 20 years. So it's very, very easy for me to know what to do. It's not like I have to actually be thinking that hard while playing this game. Except for yesterday. Yesterday, there was a lot of thinking involved. Because Miss Fervor, she was over, and she was playing with us. And it was her first time playing the game, and we had to teach it to her. Okay, I'm not seeing these drunken footpads, unless I just didn't read the quest, and I'm missing something. It's called Valak. Bring a mug. No doubt you'll kill me anyway, but if you bring me some South Shore, I'll tell you what they know. Yeah. Are we supposed to, like, buy that? And then give it to him? Because I don't see... I don't see where we're supposed to go there. Oh, okay. That's annoying. Yep, so we are supposed to buy it, which means we're gonna not even bother doing that quest. And we're gonna skip it. Because that is not on our agenda today. On our agenda today, we're gonna go get our stupid, Fell Hunter beast. And then, after we do that, we're gonna go straight back into Scarlet Monastery, and we're gonna do Graveyard and try to get some better gear, because our gear is not this dungeon level appropriate. And with better gear, it allows us to kill things faster, and when we kill things faster, it gets us more XP. Not to mention dungeons are insanely good XP. Which is the whole goal of this playthrough, is to get XP and level up. Not quickly, it's not like we're speedrunning this or anything. But just kind of enjoying our time, playing the game, talking to people. So yeah. But yeah, Louis, if you stick around long enough, eventually my my girlfriend, she'll come into the chat, and you can talk to each other and say hi. That'd be fun for all of us. Anyway, we turned in that quest for the Syndicate people that we just fought, and now we're gonna go south to go kill those Murlocs. If you're curious what these little cogs are on my screen, those are markers where like a quest objective is. And I have a quest that like you have to turn in a gold bar, and there's like a 0.01% chance that humans drop a gold bar. And so every single little dot on the map represents a humanoid creature. And so there's a chance they drop a gold bar. It just kind of is screen clutter. I wish it wasn't on my screen. It bothers me that it's on the screen. But I understand that Questy is just a database. It's just a platform. But yeah, feel free to ask questions about the game, or if anything I'm doing is like weird to you, like, hey, why'd you do that? I should have answers for you. So, just let me know. Or if like the music's too loud, or if my voice is too loud, the game audio or something like that. I'm pretty sure all the audio is fine. However, I know occasionally things can be a bit loud. Like for instance, I was in a dungeon one time where it kept repeating the same exact soundtrack over and over and over and over, and it just got loud and it got annoying, and ate me boy. Cool. Yeah, it got loud and annoying, and so I had to like interrupt it because I was not happy with it. It was too loud, it was too much noise. Mage Royal, isn't that like a low-level flower? Yeah. Do I even need Mage Royal? No. I could use Briarthorn. So that could have been Briarthorn. Oh. Rimilk. IKK. I don't know. Some of the names in this game is weird. Hey, Batty Wampus. Having a good stream this far. I am trying my best. I am indeed trying my best to have a good stream. It's been going so smoothly so far. Our objective as of today is to get my Fell Hunter, which is the demon dog creature that Warlocks get. Welcome to the stream, though. You are a first-time typer, I see that, so welcome, welcome. Yes, it's very exciting. Very exciting. But yeah, we're level 33 now. We're almost actually level 34. Which will be when we get more spells and stuff like that. Louis B, a few of my friends are asking me to play Outlast Trials, the game. I told you about a few days ago, so I'll be back every half an hour. Alright, sounds good. Have fun, Louis B. Yeah, have fun playing your game. That's that horror game I think you were telling me about. Or something similar. But yeah, Batty Wampus, for reference, as far as the the quest to get this Fell Hunter, I forgot to pick it up. So there's a book that you have to get in order to get the pet. And we went south to this little cog area right here, and we went to touch the book and loot it. And as we were interacting with the object, we got hit by one of these Murloc creatures, which are like little fish people. And when we got hit, it interrupted us, of course, and so we had to fight it. After we fought it, it aggroed some more people, so we had to finish those, and by the end of it, we got distracted and completely forgot about the book and just ran off. So we were actually supposed to have the Fell Hunter a couple nights ago.
I don't have a target.
Yeah, we were supposed to have the Fell Hunter a couple nights ago, but we completely just ignored it, and when I tried to summon it, I was confused because I'm like, where the heck is my book? Why can't I do the summoning spell? And so we just got into a very, very bad situation. where we have to do this all over again now.
Ready yet.
So yeah, it was very funny. Is the Fell Hunter better than the Blueberry? Okay, so you've played WoW before. Yes, to some degree, the Fell Hunter can be better. But for the most part, as far as solo questing, I like the Voidwalker better. The Voidwalker is better in most solo things because you can do like a kiting mechanic with it, where you can use him to tank things for you, and as long as you don't put like 50 dots on an enemy, the Voidwalker won't pull. So you can fight one guy off to the side with your Voidwalker and a little bit of like extra damage from the dots, and then you can mainly focus like one guy that you're fighting, like as your personal character. And that like expedites the Warlock. Warlock has a little bit of a niche mechanic to it. And so you can fight up to 3. I would recommend up to 3. I don't recommend fighting 3, but up to 3 is basically the limit. Because the idea is you want to have one fully dotted and feared, so that they're just running around in circles and stuff like that. You want your Voidwalker off tanking another creature, and then you want to be fighting something like face tanking, and in this case it's called drain tanking, and that's because of a spell called Drain Life, which is this glowy green beam, and it gives us healing as we're fighting the creature. So as you can notice in the top left, even though we're taking damage from the bear, I'll take some of my health to show you. But as we're taking damage from the bear, we're actually also healing as we're drain tanking. So we're also dealing damage with this spell by taking his life and putting it into me. And so basically we do that with one mob, we fear another mob, and then our Voidwalker tanks another mob. So up to 3 as far as... Are you visible? Are you... Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Like against one creature or one person, Warlock is pretty damn powerful, especially since Sacrifice gives us a 773 overshield health, and we already only have like 1,200 health. So that's more than like 2/3 of extra health that is just available for us for 30 seconds, which is a long time in this game. Like 30 seconds is huge. Alright, fun fact from Miss Fervor. Did you guys know that the hippopotamus's milk is pink? That's definitely an interesting fun fact. Yeah, it's pink. I think less strawberry. I think what it is probably has a lot more iron content and blood content than like humans' milk or other animals' milk. Because I do know that hippopotamuses, although like they chew grass and stuff like that, like they always kind of like make that joke that they're always like chewing on grass like cows and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're carnivores, so they need like blood and meat to be able to sustain themselves and stuff like that. So I don't know for sure. This is just me pretty much talking out of my butt. However, I'm pretty sure it has just more blood content, which makes it pink. The same thing can actually happen to human milk. When breastfeeding and stuff like that, it can be like a darkish yellow or like an orange, and that's due to the high concentrate of blood and better nutrients during the first month or so of pregnancy. Or not pregnancy, but like after birth of pregnancy. It's not like it's bad milk, it's actually just highly, highly enriched milk. how do I know so much about this? I watch a lot of YouTube late at night. So even though I say, hey guys, I'm done for the day, I'm gonna be done streaming at like 10 p.m., I am now up till 2 a.m. Watching YouTube on random facts of life. So for instance, the marshmallow was originally a root, similar to black root, or what we know today as licorice. But the marshmallow plant was originated by the Egyptians, and it was not used as a candy. However, later became a candy because of its sweetness and flavor and all the sugars that they added to it. But it was a marshmallow plant, and it was originally used as a medicine to cure stomach aches and headaches because the actual plant has medicinal properties to them. So yeah, a lot of random facts from me. But good news is we have the tome now, so we'll be able to go summon our... Well, always feel free to tune in. I set up my schedule, well, I fixed it the other day to better align to what my current schedule is as of now. So I should be able to stream most Tuesdays and Wednesdays at around 6 o'clock after homework's all done. And then Mondays, there's a time slot called Girlfriend Edition. My girlfriend, Miss Fervor, she played with us the first time yesterday, and we were going to stream. We were planning on it and doing it together. However, it was a lot of teaching, and it was a lot of me going back and forth between the two computers trying to figure things out. And so I didn't want to stream that portion because it's not exactly entertaining. But she did a good job. We got to level 6, so we got outside the starting area of Brill, and we moved into Tearsfall Glades. And pretty much called it a day after that. Yeah, I think it'll be cute. Of course, it won't be every Monday. It'll be based on her stamina and willingness to play with me. However, she did like the game. She chose Mage. She went Undead, which was a surprise to me. I thought she would have picked Night Elf or Human for sure, because those are the prettier things. But I think she's partially influenced by the fact that Apothecarian here is a cool-looking skeleton. So, we are a priest and we are a mage. So I am the priest. For the first time ever, I'm playing a priest, and she's a mage. I wanted to pick a class that would sustain us and complement us, and I thought about doing rogue for the extra utility. And I thought about doing warrior just so that I'm a tank, but I don't really know how to play warrior all that well. And without a healer, and without her knowing exactly what to do, I'm afraid that it's going to get us into more trouble. Whereas if she can just pull enemies for us, and then I just heal, and then do some dots on her, on the enemies, then I think we should be fine. And so I picked priest. I might have gone a different healer if she picked, like, humans. Like, I might have gone paladin instead. But priest I know is a very, very strong class, and there's no problem in playing a class you've never played before. So, especially if it's priest. Yeah, infinite heals and water for sure. Mage is a great choice, and I didn't want to shove her in like the healing bubble that girls tend to get shoved into. So I literally sat her down on the creation screen and said, "Have fun." I'm like, make whatever character you want to make, design whatever character you want to make, and do what you think sounds fun. And she chose Undead, and she chose Mage. And I think that's rad. I think that's really cool. Yeah, Mage is a strong, strong class, and I am very partial to magic classes myself, hence playing a Warlock, and having countless hours of mages as well. I think it's a very nice class. And then, of course, it lets us play Priest, which is fun, because we never played Priest. As far as what I'm doing currently, I am not just aimlessly picking flowers. I am headed to an objective. Yeah, I've heard that Priest is pretty fun. But, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good class, for sure. It's very powerful at the very least, especially in PvP situations. That being said, a good thing to note that this is a PvE server versus a PvP server. So, although I am talking about PvP a little bit with priests and stuff, we won't really be seeing a lot of action there. We did try to do a little bit of PvP headed to Scarlet Monastery the other day when we saw, oh, that's going to be able to sell an auction house. But we did see a little bit of PvP the other day when we headed back from Scarlet Monastery to Undercity, but they ended up being in a party of 4 people, and not only that, they were being power leveled by a level 60 who instant shot fire blasted us. So that kind of sucked, because we wanted to have fun, and they did not. I mean, I guess it's not fun for them to get beat on by a level 32 Warlock, but would have been fun for us. Alright, so my plan here, I'm going to send the Warlock in first versus casting spells, and what that does is it gives him the aggro. Whereas if we were going to cast spells first, then it would have put the second, like the pull aggro from the second person immediately on us, which we don't want.
That spell isn't ready yet.
But yeah, as you can see here, we're kind of doing that system that I was mentioning where we've got our Warlock tanking the first minion, and then we set the other one running. And is it easy to rip off aggro off the pet? Very. So as you can see here, we already did. So like, yeah, like the pet no longer has aggro on it, but we just got to keep up our debuffs, we got to keep up our pressure, and then call the pet back when things are running, and then send him back onto the feared enemies is generally a good idea, because then it's able to not pull things basically. For instance, I think we're gonna pick up that Mountaineer. Oh, nice. We didn't aggro. That's good. But yeah, long story short, we just want to make sure that everybody's dotted up, doing as much damage as we can, using our utilities, and that will get us the easiest amount of stuff, easiest progression, and it lets us kill things above our pay grade. Like, I should not be soloing these elites right now. It's a very, very bad idea. There's a good chance we'll die. Good news is this isn't hardcore. So if we do die, it's no big deal. On that note, let's summon a Soulstone. Let's do a Soulstone so we resurrect. Yeah, it is a scary spot. I'm thinking we actually just leave it alone. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it alone. Waste of time. Waste of time to run down here. So, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna Hearth. We're gonna just go to Undercity. In the meantime, we are going to queue up. Where's the eyeball? Did they move the eyeball? There it is. Found you. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to queue up for Graveyard, because there's actually a ton of, Warlock thing. Wow. I don't need a minimap button.
Hello.
I don't like the minimap button. I know exactly which add-on you're talking about, and I do not like it. I like the circles. I like the clutter. I know I'm weird, but it's just it's easier for me to see what I'm doing and be exact with certain things. Plus, it tells me what add-ons I have on and off. If I have some specific add-ons disabled, like for instance my Shaman one, it used to be around this ring, but I don't need it on my Warlock, and since I don't need it, I just turned it off. Whereas if I just had that M button, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm gonna have to make another bank slot. Grr. Can make an elixir of defense though, so we'll do that. Get rid of linen. Store the gold thorn, store the swift thistle. Strangle kelp can go inside, briar thorn can go inside. We'll keep the silk, we'll keep that, and then we're gonna put that on auction house. But yeah, so now that we're in Undercity, we're gonna go turn in our quest for the Tome of the Cabal, and then that will allow us to get the actual, the actual Fell Hunter that we need. So we can also get this book out of our inventory, which we've been hoarding for a few levels. Level 22. And that just sharded us. Again, for those that are watching, sharded is not like the farting and the pooping thing. It's there are shards similar to these soul shards here, and every shard is like a different layer in WoW. Thinking about selling this for gold 50. I mean, we'll start it at 2 gold. 2 gold. When we got invited to the party, all of these people in the background disappeared, and now there's only like one person here, Gooms. Oh, before we get distracted, let's go get our Fell Hunter quest out of the way. And then after that, we're going to go to the dungeon. Although I don't remember having to turn in this quest.
Speak quickly. Farewell. Victory for Sylvanus.
Ratchet. Was this not for the Fell Hunter? Mostly and I've already seen all. I should hope that the Strahd would send. I don't know. I thought we were getting... No, we should have the Fell Hunter thing. I don't know why... we don't. Because we got the book. Were we supposed to do it before? Unless this is the quest right here.
I am forsaken.
I think we're just supposed to go to Ratchet. Oh well, we'll go to Ratchet after Scarlet Monastery, after these people want to do their thing. Is there anything you're hoping to get from Scarlet Monastery? There are actually quite a few items, one of which being the wand. So this is the graveyard loot table, and we need stuff from the rare elites is the problem. So I think we need any... No, we don't need Iron Spine. So out of the 3, we need 2 of the rare elites. And then Blood Mage Thalanos drops the orb, which we actually already have. We already have the orb. But we are looking for, from the Fallen Champion, the headpiece, which is huge, because we're just sporting a gray item at the moment, and that would be a huge upgrade. The cloths also increase our shadow damage, which is huge, and again, the necrotic wand would be huge. The necklace would be nice. We don't have a necklace, so I guess, again, would also be huge. This is why we're going to do as many graveyards as we can even get into. As far as the library, the only thing that we really, really want is the dagger. If we don't get the dagger after all of this and we just kind of level out of it, it's not a big deal because we have the staff. We already have the illusory rod because that dropped for us in one of the dungeons and the priest didn't need it. So I even offered it to the shaman, and the shaman's like, no, I don't want it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it should be good. I mean, we've got one druid, a mage, another druid, and a shaman. So, as far as the graveyard goes, I'm not too worried about it. Because a lot of it's just shadow gear. And as far as the wand goes, the wand might end up going to the mage, which would be a bummer, because the wand is like a huge upgrade. And it's shadow damage, which a lot of creatures in World of Warcraft aren't immune to. The only ones that I know that are immune to it are the Worgen, or the wolves, the werewolves in Shadowfang Keep. Yeah, I can summon. And the summon boss at the end of the Wailing Caverns. Yes, yes, yes. I know who you're talking about. The Murloc, yes. Yeah, that's very true. And, well, when you're that level, it's even more of a problem because you only have Immolate and the other 2 curses. It's not like you even have Searing Pain yet, which is another fire spell. You get that later on. So all you have is Shadow Bolt, Corruption, and Agony, which are all curses, and then Immolate, which is a low damage dot. So it's just funny. I low-key panicked the first time I found out that I had to... First time I found out that because I was trying to carry people and only had shadow spells on my priest. Oh, you were trying to, like, power level people? Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I could see how that's nerve-wracking. Yeah. Were you level 60 when you were trying to do that, or were you like level 30 or like 40? Like lower level to where you didn't have like access to your holy dots, like the what's it called? The fire one, the holy fire. There's something that deals damage over time. $45. You went shadow spec. I gotcha. That makes sense. Well, I don't even think you can cast any holy spells while you're in shadow form. Right? Unless it's like a self-heal or something like that. Because I know, at least with druids, I know that when you go boomkin form, moonkin form, that you are nature locked. Like you can only cast arcane spells. Which really sucks. Because a lot of the... no, you can't. I think I ended up just switching to a non-shadow wand and wanding the thing to death. Yeah, that makes sense. I would have done the same thing. Yeah, so it is like Druid then, where you're locked to the one school of magic. I've always had a problem with that, with the Moonkin form. I think Moonkin would actually be a lot more viable if you were able to cast nature spells. Like, you can still be locked out of healing and stuff like that, but it's the fact that you can't cast Wrath or the Fly Swarm thing, which are like your main damaging things when you're playing a balanced druid. Because Wrath is on such a quick cooldown, and yet you're limited to the arcane Starfall. Who needs a summon? That's if I remember correctly. Playing druid was years ago. Yeah, druid was super fun. I miss druid to an extent. I don't really want to level another one, because I know you have to mainly do cat form, or bear form while you're doing it. Like if you're doing like tanking dungeons and stuff, which I actually wouldn't mind bear form tanking. I think that'd be fun to do. I've never done that before. Oh, thank you. I've never done the bear form tanking thing. When I played my druid, it was somebody else who was tanking. So I think that would have been really cool. But that's okay. Oh, so a note. You were asking about pets earlier, like the Fell Hunter. So the Voidwalker, actually, we want to use the Succubus here, because the Succubus deals the most damage out of my 3 current pets. I've got the Imp, I've got the Voidwalker, and I've got the Succubus. And she has by far the most utility and the most damage between the 3. So we end up choosing her. And with yes, absolutely. Distracts the monks for sure, because we can cast seduction on the enemies. And that will stun them for a short time until somebody hits it. So that's super nice. Those are actually nice wrists. That being said, I don't think this is graveyard, guys.
That spell
I think this is armory, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it is graveyard, but it doesn't look like graveyard. The game thinks it's armory, or library. Oh no, it's graveyard. My bad.
still recharging.
Tell me everything.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
But part of what's hard about playing a Warlock is managing your pet. So for instance, right now she's actually taken quite a bit of damage because she pulled
Secrets from your flesh.
from doing too much damage. I'm surprised the healer's healing it.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Yes, for sure. A good healer is always nice to have. It lets you deal tons of damage. For instance, we can go in and do this because I actually trust the healer. I should have watched his mana before I did this. However, we did have the we do have the soul stone, and so I wasn't worried about it. He got us up though. We do need to take a minute to drink.
Recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still
And we have a good tank.
recharging.
So nice. Part of what makes a druid tank good, in my opinion, on his ability to look at the other team and see what they need. Druid is a hybrid class where they can do more than one thing, and if he recognizes that people need health because they're low on health and stuff like that, by him healing the party and not having the healer do it, it saves time as well as mana. So I think that's very good.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Gotta get more shards. But yeah, like I mentioned, the hardest thing to do with a Warlock is managing pets and stuff like that. So I actually have my...
That spell isn't ready yet.
I wanted to try bear tanking, but randomly stopped playing as soon as I got bear form. Maybe I should get back into it. I think bear tanking's fun. It's nerve-wracking to be a tank in the first place, but most people who play World of Warcraft nowadays are veterans anyway. And so, as long as you have a decent healer, your party's fine. Because at the end of the day, if you don't pick up something, the DPS will die. And if the DPS know that they can't go in too early, then they're going to learn. And they're going to learn the hard way. I had to do that with my shaman when I got him up to level 42. Every now and then I'd be tanking and I'd have to tell the group, hey guys, if you pull off of me, I can't get it back. Because shaman doesn't have a taunt. And it's worse at tanking than even a paladin. So, yeah, it has no taunt. All it has is Rockbiter and Earth Shock, which which is basically like a worse version of Righteous Fury, and if you were judging a holy spell. And Righteous Fury, all it does is increase your threat by 60%. So it's really not that good. And then Rockbiter does worse than that. It's just, again, a high threatening passive. Like, it just generates high threat. So it's not that good. But and then there's Earth Shock, which again is like a high threatening ability, which isn't. It would be like if I sundered armor against people on a 6 or 7 second cooldown.
Still recharging.
It's like, okay, whoop-de-doo. You sundered armor. So right here, what I did was I saw that the priest was getting attacked because, or not the priest, but the shaman, our healer, was getting attacked, and so I purposefully aggroed the undead. I was attacking him on purpose, like, more, yeah, thank you. But in case you see me pull every now and then, there is usually a reason why I pull, even if the tank is a little bit pissed off. So as much as I'm liking the healer right now, because he's doing things like healing the pet and stuff like that, he's wasting things, wasting his mana a little bit on Chain Lightning, because this is a lower level dungeon. Hey, there we go. Level 34. But he's wasting his mana and stuff on things like Chain Lightning. And that could get us in trouble. Thank you.
I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that
Oh,
yet.
and the reason why the Chain Lightning thing mattered was because not only did he waste his mana on Chain Lightning, it also, because he has to heal, is essentially him doing DPS on top of aggroing the mobs through healing. So he's doing the healing threat that he would normally get as a healer, and then on top of it he's dealing damage, which generates a ton of threat. So that's a bad play in my opinion, if you're going to be the healer, because your job isn't to deal the DPS, you have DPS to deal the DPS. And if you get into a situation like the Warlock starts hellfiring and blowing himself up, and you don't have mana, then the Warlock's gonna die. To be fair, I should of course always be watching and seeing whether or not my healer has mana. And I think that's part of a job of playing the Warlock, is recognizing if your healer has mana and if he's willing to heal you through you doing things like Hellfires and Life Taps. And if it looks like he is, yeah, you always gotta be prepared. But yeah, like if it looks like he is in a situation where he's gonna be Hellfiring or doing something like that, you want to make sure that your priest or your shaman or whoever your healer is has mana and is able to pull aggro off of you. Or if you have an exceptionally good tank. Usually the tank is able to keep aggro off of you. But I know it can be very stressful when you've got Blizzard going on and you've got Hellfires going on and the mage is dying really quick because they're squishy, and then the Warlock just decides to self-implode. Because once that happens, there's not a lot you can do. And if they both decide to do it, and they both pick up aggro at the same exact time, it becomes a problem. It becomes an issue. Why can't I select? It is stressful. It's why nobody likes to play healer. But a lot of it can be avoided with like an exceptional tank, but not everybody's an exceptional tank, and that's not something you can blame him for. I'm not calling this tank bad, he's doing a fine job, he's doing what he can do. But, I mean, he could focus one target a little bit better. He doesn't really need to pick up the ghosts. Because it's not like I'm actually, like, over-pulling off of these ghosts. I'm just dotting them and wanding them. If I was doing that to 3 enemies, okay, then I'm being a problem, then I'm being an issue. But if it's just the one target, and for some reason he's not able to keep aggro, that means he's switching too much on the first target. It doesn't allow your people to know which target you need to focus. Also, a niche thing about Warlocks, they do damage at the very end of their dots more so than they do at the beginning. So Curse of Agony deals the most damage of ticks at the last 4 seconds. Yeah, last 4 seconds, then at the first 4 seconds. First 4 seconds will deal 20 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage. And then the last 3 seconds will deal, or last 4 seconds will deal like 60 damage, 60 damage, 60 damage. So you always want to let your dots run out. So the difference between a good Warlock and a bad Warlock is dot management as well, in my opinion. Somebody took the Grave Moss. I agree, for sure. Warlocks, as far as I know, don't have a way in their talent tree to reduce threat from their shadow spells. They might in, like, Destruction? I don't know, but I'm Affliction right now, and I know that I don't have any talents that reduce my threat generation. Maybe this? No. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. Ah, there we go. So it looks like in the demonology tree, if you go into Master Demonology, you'll be able to decrease your threat by, what is that, 4 times 5, 20% if you have Imp. Like if you're using the Imp. So that would be really good. I don't know if people are wanting to keep... That's pretty specific. So do you always need to keep an imp out? The short answer is no. You don't always need to keep an imp out. It really depends on what you're doing with a Warlock, and again, part of it's just part of knowing how to play your class with everything. Like as a rogue, you gotta manage your stealth, you gotta manage your saps, you gotta manage your blinds, your garrote, your poisons. You know, you got all these things to do. It's the same thing with a priest. You gotta manage your bubble, you gotta manage your heals, you gotta manage your mana, your life, stuff like that, and it's the same thing for Warlock. For Warlock, pet management is just another huge aspect of being a Warlock. You know, so if you really, really, really know how to use your pet, or really, really know how to play your class, then you'll know how to use your pet effectively, and you'll know how to pick which pet you need to use for which situations, and that will determine how effective you are in combat and in parties. For raids, yeah, I would probably say use an imp, because you don't want to pull threat. But in a dungeon where you know you're 1/5 of the people that's helping out, there are situations where you do want to pull off the priest, or you do want to pull off the tank. I was in a dungeon where I had to fear somebody and then off-tank with my Warlock, so that it was just less enemies hitting the tank because we were too squishy. For the end boss, the tank was using a two-handed weapon as a warrior, and he didn't have his shield on, and he didn't train in one-handed weapons, because he's always just used his two-handed stuff. So we decided that, hey, maybe it's... Yeah. Two-handed weapon tanking, in my opinion, is... It's good if you're good. As with everything in this game, if you know what you're doing and you're good at the game, then it's fine. You know, two-handed weapon fighting is fine as a tank. It lets you burn down mobs a lot faster, which is effectively less damage, right? And if you're thinking that way, then it can be really, really good. However, most tanks are not the best in the world. Most tanks aren't even you. Like, you as a person. Like, you know the mechanics, or you know how to play the game a certain way, and you know what you're doing as a warrior or something like that. You trust in yourself to know what you're doing. But pugs, you can get anybody. You can get the guy that's on a bong, or drunk, or doing something else, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, he's running into a wall AFK. And if you've got a guy who's two-handed weapon tanking and we're not burning stuff down, then it's a battle of endurance. And with a warrior that's two-handed tanking, it's just... You lose the fight. You lose the endurance battle, because the enemies all are tanky. It's the reason why they're elites. They're all tanky, they're hard to kill, and you decided to sacrifice health and stamina and endurance and durability for more damage. If you bring 5 DPS into a dungeon, you're gonna lose. You need a healer, you need a tank, and you need 3 DPS. There's a reason why it's called a comp. A team comp. So, again, I think sword and board is always the best situation. It's why I love druid tanks so much. It's why you'll hear me say, oh, sick, we have a druid tank, or something like that. And it's because they don't fight in cat form, because they do the highest DPS to hold the aggro. They fight in bear form, because they're a tank, and they hold threat just fine. And they take 0 damage. I love to heal them, I love to DPS for them, and they're just, all in all, great tanks in my opinion. You guys just don't go down, and you have your swipe, which hits multiple enemies at once, which seems to be a really, really powerful tool for holding threat. I think it's very impressive to be in tank in that way. I also think we screwed up our quests. I'm really thinking we screwed up our Fell Hunter quest. Hopefully. Because the next part of it says to go to the wetlands. Yes, I do need to go to Ratchet, but before that we need to go to the wetlands. So I read the quest a little bit. We have to get Rod of Channeling. 3 rods of channeling from the wetlands, and then we go to Ratchet. And hopefully that follow-up quest lets us get a copy of the Tome of the Cabal, which will let us summon the Fell Hunter. It has been a long time since I've played Warlock, so I don't remember. Is the problem. But I do know that we have to go from El Arathi to the wetlands. Yeah, we just go from Arathi to the wetlands, and then we just kill those orcs down there. But that's Alliance territory, so we will see if we die. It says it's a green quest, though, so we should be fine. If I can find the battle handler. Oh, before we do that, let's go train. We hit level 34. Maybe we get in another dungeon before we go off and do that too. That would be good. But yeah, I love bear tanks. Bear tanks are great. Warrior tanks are good too. I agree. Scarlet Monastery and Undercity is a very powerful combo, especially since Scarlet Monastery is 4 dungeons big. You can really, really grind from like level 30 to like 36 or 38 in Scarlet Monastery, and it's feasible. Like, it's not just screwing around. You know, it's an actually like an understandable way of fighting.
And you
Yeah, that's fair.
What now?
Like I was mentioning earlier, I'm usually Alliance as well. You know what? I can't see because stupid chat is in the way, so I need to move that for a second. Corruption. Hellstone, both are very nice. Rain of Fire, huge. Searing Pain, we should train just in case we get screwed with in case we get screwed with Shadow Immune. Normally, I wouldn't take something like Searing Pain. Until you're like max level and it's something like where you actually use. Searing Pain is just worse than Shadow Bolt. It's faster. It's a faster spell than Shadow Bolt. But it would be like casting Fireball versus casting like a Frostbolt without the slow effect. You know, you want to cast what gives the most damage output. So, hey, there's the quest, or the invite. We don't have a healer though. And there's no healers in queue. That's not a healer. But basically, Searing Pain is just, it's a 1.5 second cast for a small amount of damage. It's good. It's just not great. So for instance, my Shadow Bolt at the moment, for 3 seconds casts, will deal up to 170 damage. And my Searing Pain, which is 1.5 second cast, will deal 104 fire damage. So you might be thinking, okay, 1.5 second versus 3 second. Why not just use Searing Pain twice? Same amount of cast time, bigger damage. That's because it would cost 180 mana for 30 more points of damage versus the 160 mana I could cast with a Shadow Bolt, which if we crit, it will deal 50% more damage, which would be bigger than if we were to crit with Searing Pain. Also, resists and stuff like that. If I resist with the Searing Pain, I guess that's not as good as an argument, right? Because then you would have spent less time and less mana for a resist than if you were to use Shadow Bolt. There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons, but for the most part, I like using Shadow Bolt.
Beware the living.
Thank you. I've definitely done research. I've definitely watched guides, I've looked up stuff. This isn't my first Warlock. Yeah, we're gonna go back to Graveyard. Interesting thing about Warlock is that we can cast our Soulstone on the healer. So if the healer dies, they can be instantly resurrected. Huge. Huge. So if there's a party wipe, and they hold on to the resurrection from the Soulstone, we can basically have a free, like, removal of runtime.
I don't have a target.
Judgment Call. Judgment Call. So, it does resurrect the healer with 750 health and 1200 mana. Or 1200 mana. For those who get confused, I get confused, so it's helpful for me. But, it does resurrect people with some mana and health back. So, if it looks like the tank is full health, and it looks like it's something salvageable, and yet the priest still dies from pulling threat or whatever, it's an okay-ish idea to resurrect yourself and try to get some heals off. Or if it's a situation where you think having one more person would be enough to save the party, even if the tank dies. There have been situations where the Soulstone, they use it immediately, and I'm alive, a hunter is alive, and a priest is alive, because they resurrected themselves, and we still win the fight despite the tank being dead. So yes, there are situations where it would be useful if they just used it immediately. However, a reliable strategy is to simply just wait until everybody dies. Reset the fight, and as long as the priest is far away enough from enemy aggro, it's a free reset of the fight, and it's like no time is lost. Like, you can literally just hit restart on the fight and it's fine. So, if you want to be reliable with it, and have it be consistent, I think it's better to just let the party die. And wait till you use it, because you've got 5 or 6 minutes before it, like, goes away once you die. Basically until it automatically releases your spirit after 6 minutes. You have it. So, as long as they die within those 6 minutes, you can just resurrect yourself, and then one by one resurrect the party, heal up, get mana'd up, and just restart the fight, and there's a good chance it's a easier fight anyway, because there's less creatures. Because usually wipes are due to a big pull, rather than like a tough boss. So, I think, personally, just go with old reliable and just let people die. If you're good enough at the game and you're knowledgeable, then it's up to that person to make the judgment call on what they think they can do. But, yeah. Well, I mean, to an extent, letting people die is a lesson learned. Right? If you've played the game for a while, and you're confident in your abilities and your knowledge of the game to essentially avoid bad situations, and you're going too fast, and you pull a bunch of enemies because you get cocky, it's a reality check. Let people die. You know, I do this a lot when I'm tanking. I just let people die. You know, you pulled. You know, it's not like I'm trying to be a bad tank. I'll try my best to pick up the threat. But if one person consistently keeps being a problem and they pull and the priest has to heal them extra, and then every single fight becomes a close fight because the tank and the hunter is getting damaged, there's just no point. I'm just gonna let the hunter die, the priest is gonna heal me, and we can move on from there. You know, at some point the hunter's gonna learn, I'm gonna wait a second before I go in and start fighting, otherwise this druid's not gonna pick up aggro. It makes sense. Sounds hard for healer to do, though. Goes against the core of their being. I agree. I absolutely agree. That's why when I'm tanking, I like to whisper the priests. Either, like, even as a DPS, I'll whisper the priests, complimenting them, like, "Hey, I know priests don't get a lot of recognition. Good job. You know, you were doing good healing." And stuff like that. However, there were times when I was playing my shaman, when I'd whisper the priest, like, "Hey, this hunter keeps going in, and he keeps pulling. I need you to not heal him. I need you to just heal me." I'm like, if he dies, he dies. He goes down in the fight, he dies. We don't need the DPS. We just need the party to live. And if I die, you guys are going to die really quickly. So, although I'm self-sabotaging, well, not self-sabotaging, but I'm basically assassinating the hunter. It's oof. That's really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and wish everybody good luck. I've gotten chewed out.
Tell me everything.
I've gotten chewed out a few times. Not all healers love the way I play.
That's still recharging.
Yeesh.
Naughty secret.
This is a situation.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast it.
So I'm gonna fear that one. And the reason why I feared that one was because it had a slow on it. And then we're gonna put our guy on that, and then I'm gonna re-fear that. Put the dots on that guy. Now we're gonna attack him.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready.
Anyway, the reason why I feared that one guy was because he had a slow on him, which means he was less likely to get away, and I would have more time to be able to react and put a Curse of Recklessness on him to break the fear.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
What Curse of Recklessness does is it puts a debuff on him where they don't run, and
That spell isn't ready yet.
when they don't run, they'll just come back and fight us, and what Fear does is it makes them run. So if I cast Fear, and then cast Curse of Recklessness, they'll stop being scared, and they'll come back and fight me. However, if I switch to a different curse, that removes my previous Curse of Recklessness, so I can kind of keep him in this infinite loop of running away and not running away to where he never hits anybody. Like I said, Warlocks are very, very, very good in a one-on-one. Wait. Okay, so here's... So I remember me saying like, oh, you want to do the healer. In this case, I'm going to do the priest, even though the druid is the healer. And the reason for that is because the druid only has a one-time resurrection, whereas the priest has a multiple-time resurrection. So if the priest is able to get back up and res the whole party, that's better than the druid, who is the healer.
I need a target.
But remember what I said about the whole tanking issue, about warriors being too squishy with the two-handed weapon? This warrior right here is wielding a two-handed sword. He's the tank. It's just... he died. Nobody else died, but he did. And it's because he's taking too much damage. You need the extra armor, the extra damage reduction. It's not just about blocking the attack. Armor straight up, the armor straight up lets you reduce the amount of damage you're taking. And it's percentage based. So it can be huge. Oops. I didn't want to do that. That's okay.
That spell isn't ready yet.
You know, so if you have a shield and it gives you like 1,000 armor, then you go from like 20% damage reduced to like 30% damage reduced, because it's 1,000 plus armor. You know, so in my opinion, 10% less damage is way better than 5% more dealing damage. Also, a neat thing about Warlocks, and part of the reason why I needed on that stamina headpiece, stamina is equal to intellect. Life for Warlocks is equal to mana for Warlocks. The more life you have, the more mana you have. The more mana you have, it's not quite the other way around, where the more life you have, but it is similar, because with mana, you can prolong your life by casting things like Life Tap, or sorry, not Life Tap, Siphon Life, or Drain Life, which are spells that give you life by using mana. Plus, if you have a druid who's putting rejuvenation on you, it's like your infinite power. It's like actually crazy. Yeah, and it makes you tankier. Yeah, with life tap, it converts 38 health into 138 mana. So the more life we have, the more effective mana pool we have as well. So it becomes really, really out of control. So once again, in this area right here, we're hoping for a rare elite, so that we can get our wand, our neck piece, our headpiece, our legs. We just really, really want a rare elite. I believe most of them spawn over past that crypt. We hope so. I'm not seeing any of the rare elites though. Yeah, I'm not seeing the rare elites. So I know one rare elite, he spawns in that little corner right over there next to that. Hello?
Let's get this close. I don't have a target. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
I forget what I was saying.
That's still recharging.
Yes, I was looking for rare elites. But yeah, usually they spawn over there in that corner. And I think some over there in that crypt. But I'm not seeing any. What sucks about the rare elites is that
I need a target.
one is not guaranteed to spawn. Which
I
means
need to target
not
something
only do we
first.
need the right one to spawn, but we need one to spawn at all, which sucks. But Grave Moss is right there, and I would like it if we went and fought over to that Grave Moss.
Not ready yet.
Also, a tip for any aspiring warlocks. I caution you to use Hellfire or Rain of Fire before the mage uses their Blizzard. Most times, as long as the mage casts their Blizzard first, they will hold the aggro until everything dies. This is a little bit cheeky.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Alright, don't do what I did, people. Not because it was bad play. For us, it was very good play. But that was essentially ninja looting. Don't do that.
Still recharging.
I did it because, frankly, I don't care. Because somebody else ninja looted the flower the last run, and so I feel a little bit vindicated, justified in doing what I did. Plus, if they ask, I can be like, oh, I was just pulling a zombie over. He's level 28? Oh, that's why he's squishy. Ha! He's level 28. That's why he died in the first room. Yeah, the rest of us are in our 30s. Okay. And the reason why the healer's running out of mana is because he's also level 30. Yeah, I'm agreeing with what Silk here. He's saying that it might be tough to do library as level 28 tank. That's okay. If this party disbands, yeah, 28 is really low for Scarlet Monastery. I didn't come here until I was level 30. And even then, my first few dungeons were, they were libraries, surprisingly. I didn't even want to do library. True, I'm not the tank. However, I am 1/3 of the DPS, and I was level 30 we went to library and armory. We did both. And I was low. I was level 30 for library and then 31 for armory. And I was below the healer in DPS because everything was resisting. And if my spells are dots, they just get resisted. They don't ever land. And if they don't land, they can't deal the damage over time. A slow dungeon. It was not by any means, in my opinion, a good idea to bring a level 30. They all wanted to do library. I wanted to do graveyard. I wasn't looking to do library. I thought that was a bad idea. Yeah, we did. We went through the dungeon. We succeeded. But there were a couple times where I got into trouble just simply because I was too low level. And and my succubus, although I'm pretty good at managing my pet, there were a couple times where there were situations I could have helped out the fight if I was higher level. Because I'm low level, so is my pet, which means anytime she's doing her spells, it's also resisting. Which is a huge problem.
Still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
No rest for the angry dead.
That's still recharging.
But I mean, you can even see in the DPS chart on the bottom left, Warlocks just pump damage. Yay, say I'm at him. Hey, grats. Wet silk. Good job. You can check the overall. Oh, duh. I forgot to reset it. That's funny. I'm dealing more than 50% the damage. I forgot to reset it from the last run. So I think it's counting. Yeah, it is. It's counting all the other people. But yeah, at least on that boss we did pretty good. We do good in most fights. You know, there's a couple times where the mage will overtank us in DPS. I try not to pay too much attention to the DPS charts though, because it's not good gameplay. If you're worried about DPS so much, you're gonna cause problems for the group. And you don't want to be a problem for the group. Alright. Be right back. Between a warlock and a priest, that is a very, very hard fight. However, due to the consistencies of fears, I believe a warlock will win that fight. That is more of a battle of attrition than anything. However, I will be right back. Okay, I am back now. Didn't mean to ask a question right as you were leaving. Haha, sorry. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, as far as a priest and warlock PvP, that is really, it just really depends on who knows how to play the game better in PvP, in my opinion. That those are really evenly matched classes with utility like drain life and some higher level warlock things like the Voidwalker sacrifice and siphon life and stuff like that. I think warlock can definitely outplay a priest when it comes to outlasting them. But a priest is just so damn tanky, and they can keep their bubble up more than once, and they can keep their pressure up indefinitely. So it's the argument of who's going to be able to out-heal the other person faster. I do think the warlock wins in most cases, though, because warlocks have drained mana. And there's no defense against drained mana. Like, there's not anything you can do against that. You can't heal your mana other than sitting down and drinking, unless you're another warlock, in which case you could life tap, but then that hurts you. Can they? I have no idea. I have never played a priest. And I don't ever watch, like, priest duels. If they can, which it sounds like they can. If they can. Maybe that's just Shadow Priest, though. Well, I imagine that's the PvP spec, is Shadow. You know, so if, assuming the Warlock's in their best PvP spec, and Priests are in their best PvP spec, and they can drain mana and stuff like that, then Warlocks and Priests are pretty damn equal. The only thing that I think would give Warlocks maybe an edge would be life tap, and the fact that we can drain our health to give us mana, whereas Priests can't. Once you drain a Priest's mana, the only way for them to get their mana back, as far as I know, is to sit down and drink. Or maybe they have like a wand thing. Because I know they have insanely high spirit regen. I just don't know. Priests and warlocks are so similar. And they're so equal when it comes to PvP fighting. Like, they have the same mentality and playstyle. So the biggest thing you can do against a priest, in my opinion, is drain mana. And then from there you need to whittle down their health. And once you do that, you can win fights. And then it's just a question of, will their healing and stuff like that and their pressure be able to outlast yours? Whereas like a warlock versus a mage, we can just outlast them. We can keep them feared, we can keep them dotted, we can drain their mana. There's nothing they're going to be able to do. We can sacrifice their burst to where we're not even taking the damage. we can seduce their sheep. So if they keep sheeping us, we can keep seducing them. Not to mention Fell Hunter, which in PvP can silence people. So, again, pets are huge. I think so, but I don't know. This is me coming off of a person who knows Warlock fairly well, and Priest not at all. I'm sure if I was playing a Priest till level 60, I'd be like, oh, well, you just mind control a Warlock and jump him off a cliff, right? Or something stupid like that. Or mind control a Warlock and have him life tap to death. I mean, stupid stuff like that, yeah. I'm sure a Priest could definitely outplay me. It just depends on, it just depends on your knowledge of the class and your utilities and how you use them. Again, I think Priest and I think Warlock are probably the most evenly matched in this entire game. Because they're so similar and because they both have so much utility. It would definitely be a fun duel. I think it would stress me out. Like, if I was the one dueling a Priest, I'd be stressed. But yeah, so I mean, I can run down some scenarios against a Priest. So, a Warlock with a Voidwalker, as we know, it has a spell called Sacrifice, and what Sacrifice does is it gives us that 730 extra health shield, which is huge for us. So what if we do that against a Priest? Okay. Assuming it's a battle of attrition, we will have effectively at level 60 two very, very large bubbles. But that's not the Priest playstyle. The Priest playstyle is to play slow. It's to play consistent. It's to play slow. So there's a good chance that even if we do sacrifice our Voidwalker, they just run around for 30 seconds. You know, draining our mana and doing stuff like that. So I think if I was a Warlock and I was using Voidwalker up against a Priest, I think we would lose. That doesn't mean my kit without a pet wouldn't beat the Priest, but essentially our pet is our kit. It is part of our abilities. It is part of what makes us a Warlock, and so if we're doing things poorly and using half of our kit poorly, it's not going to work out for us. And so if I were to use Sacrifice, and the Priest is just going to wand us and dot us and drain our mana, assuming that Shadow Priests can do that, until we die. Because, or sorry, not until we die, but until the shield comes off, which is in 30 seconds. And so what do you do as a Warlock? Okay, that means you have to spend mana by going into the Demonology tree and using Fell Domination to reduce our cast time by summoning another pet. So we summon Voidwalker again, and again we put up our shield. Okay, but now we're low on mana, which means we're life tapping. And guess what ignores the shield? Life tap. So despite the fact that we have this 730 health shield, we're still breaking it by casting life tap over and over and over, and even if we have that shield, it's still going to deplete our life despite having that shield. So what the Priest is effectively doing is killing our life by killing our mana. Okay, so if they can just break our shield or penetrate our shield, then we essentially don't have a shield at all. Get rid of the Voidwalker. Next up is the Imp. Okay, the Imp has Fireball. It does a decent amount of damage. I think it does like maybe 10 or 20% of our damage if we have an Imp out. But so does the Succubus, right? But the Imp is a shooter, but the problem with the Imp is that the Priest can just make the Imp run out of mana super fast, because the Imp's Fireballs cost a lot of its mana. It's like 10% mana per Fireball. Or maybe 5% mana for Fireballs, so they've got like 20 Fireballs, right? And if the Priest is draining its mana, then the Imp's going to be useless during out the entire fight. To where it's not going to be able to do anything for us. So I think, again, if we choose the Imp and we choose poorly, it's not going to work out well. And then so we move on to the Succubus. I think Succubus is our first viable option. It's our first viable option. Now I feel bad. Sorry, was whispering this guy. Basically, we were trying to get another person into the party, and because he didn't respond, he got kicked. He got kicked because he didn't respond, and so I whispered him like, "Hey, it's all good, man. I didn't even want to kick you." Toro Locos was the leader. And so I just like, you might want to whisper him on that. Sounds like we're doing library. But yeah, I think Succubus is the yeah, they'll find another group. They're a tank. I think Succubus is the first viable option because of Seduce. So Seduce lasts for 15 seconds on creatures. I think on humans, or like, you know, PvP players, I think it lasts like 8 or 9 seconds. Depending on the heartbeat resist, which is a mechanic in the game where every second or so, there's a chance for a person to resist or break out of a stun or a charm. So it could be lower than the 15 seconds. So I think it's like about 9 seconds on average, where they can't do or act, right? And so if you're playing a very specific Warlock build, Destruction Warlock, I think you could blow up a priest before they have a chance to do anything against you. And so I think that would be very viable. Not to mention the constant pressure of a Succubus. Unlike the Imp, where the mana is an issue, the Succubus also deals around 15 to 20% of your damage. Yeah, there is. The Imp also deals, or sorry, the Succubus also deals 15 to 20% of your damage, so you're always able to keep up that pressure, even if the Priest drains her mana. So I think there's that as well. That's important to note. And during mid-fight, you can always Succubus, or you can always seduce some. Why are we doing this? I don't understand. Anyway, for some reason he's making a raid group. He kicked the one guy. I don't understand what's happening right now. But back to the succubus thing, I think succubus is the first final option, because we could blow up the priest before they do anything with a destruction build, and doing soulfire into shadowburn and conflag, which just deals a lot of like instant damage. You know, it just goes right off the bat. And I think that would be really, really powerful against the priest. Not to mention, while they're like trying to heal or cast certain spells, we can always try to interrupt it with like a seduce and try to like precast it or something like that. As long as you have your succubus put on stay and kind of like far away, you can not have your pet on follow, and it'll be a little bit of a distance away. So as long as you can distract the priest and stuff like that, they might not notice that we're casting a seduce. So I think that can be really powerful strategic-wise. However, I think against a priest, the biggest pet that we could use would probably be the Fell Hunter. And that's for two reasons. What the Fell Hunter does is it silences people. It's a spell interrupt. It's like a counterspell. They have counterspell. And they have purge. And what purge does is it removes buffs or debuffs, depending on if you're selected on an enemy or if you're selected on yourself. So if I'm playing up against a priest and they put their bubble up, I can straight up purge it off of him. Which means we would be dealing damage to their health versus damage to their bubble, which would be huge. Yeah, right. That assumes they finish the quest chain. Yeah, seriously. But this is all assuming we're level 60, right? Level 40 through, well, our level 30 to 40, I think actually a priest wins. I think a priest wins in the 1v1. Like, no questions asked. I think the priest wins in a 1v1. I think Warlock definitely has a good kit, and I think we're pretty solid right now, but Fell Hunter doesn't get its abilities, like its really good abilities, until higher level. Like level 38 or 40 or something like that, where they can silence and purge debuffs and stuff like that. But yeah, assuming we're level 60, I think the Fell Hunter silencing and debuffing or removing buffs off of the priest would be the highest form of pressure that we could do.
Still recharging.
As long as the priest doesn't drain mana off of the pet. If the priest then drains mana off the pet, that means they're wasting time on the pet versus they're wasting time on the pet versus time on us with their spells, which uses their mana and it uses their resources, and we just pulled a ton of people.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Okay, so this is the time where Warlock comes into play. We're going to send our succubus, and we're going to go seduce that priest right there, so he's not healing. And this will be the difference between playing a good Warlock and playing a bad Warlock.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Okay, we're going to recast it.
Cast that yet. Still recharging.
But this is what I kind of mean with the priest tools. We can just kind of keep doing that over and over. Oh, thank you. See, the mage recognized it. Haha.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready.
But,
I can't cast that yet.
oh, nice. Good job. But, I didn't even notice he did the poly. But yeah, the reason why we did that on the priest versus the archer that was shooting, was because that the priest heals, and it would prolong the fight.
That's still
And we don't want that.
recharging.
We want the fights to end as quickly as possible, so that we can reduce the number of people that we're fighting against, which reduces our damage. And as a DPS, that's our job, is to reduce the number of people and their incoming damage. And part of that is CC. And so just like the priest duels, we can just like the priest duels, we can stun the priest with our seduction. So I think Warlock is really, really powerful in that regard. And that was a perfect showcase of what she can do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's still recharging.
I'm still learning. Still learning. I would by no means call myself a good Warlock. But I do understand the game. And I understand fundamentals of the game. And so I believe that that was a good play on our part. So there, I played poorly. I saw the guy running. I even thought about casting Curse of Recklessness to where he would not run away. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather do damage. So that was bad gameplay on my part. I wasn't really worried about it, but it would have been smart of me to make sure I had okay, so just so you guys know, that was a bad decision. And the reason why is because of two reasons. One, this is a big fight. A lot of damage is coming in from multiple enemies. And on top of that, I don't have a health stone. However, it dealt a lot of damage, and people are dying. Which is good. Which is what we want. And we do have Siphon Life, which just lets us kind of tank some of the damage that is coming out. But yeah, we should have watched our priest's mana, and we should have made sure that we have a health stone. You always want to have a health stone as a warlock. It, again, is part of your abilities, it's part of your kit. You need to know when it's okay to do things like that. And that was not a moment where it was okay. Good news is, we have a very good party. And people know what they're doing. So I was able to CC the guy over there. I think we had a polymorph over there.
That's still recharging.
So, again, bad plays carried by a good team. let's see how much damage her pet is actually doing. Yeah, 23% of her damage is our pet. So you always want to have your pet attacking as much as you can, but you also don't want to pull stuff, and so you got to make sure she's not chasing when it's a situation where she needs to be pulled back so she doesn't face pull people, because she pulls just as much as you pull.
Isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
We're going to save this scroll, because we already have stamina for the priest, and hers is better, of course. We're also going to nag that Fade Leaf, because that gives us money. And it seems like nobody else picked it. So. Oh well. Are we seriously all hiding in the corner? I don't... I'm ready.
Release the hounds!
So here, all we're gonna do... Yeah. They might be young. There's a time where I spammed the choo-choo. And if you think it's a kid, then that makes it cute. So this is a decent time to do the AoE, and the reason was because we both saw that the priest has a bubble on us, they have a shield on us, and the mage is doing their AoE first. Okay, so we know that they're focus healing us, we have the health stone, we have the mage added DPS, and all our party was at full. So that was a great time to do the AoE. Here's what we did poorly. We forgot to put Siphon Life on all the enemies. Instead, all we did was a Curse of Agony and a Curse of Corruption. So although that was a good time to use Hellfire, it was a bad play by not putting Siphon Life, which gives us 15 health per 3 seconds per target, which could have been sustaining our life even more to mitigate some of that damage. Again, this is stuff that like is not some things you would really think about unless you're actively trying to play good. And I think as long as you actively try to play better and work on your mechanics and your fundamentals, eventually it'll start to become second nature. To where you can know the in and... It is a lot. It's a lot to think about all at once. Yeah. And the reason why I make it kind of such a big deal, like, oh, you have to always be thinking about this and this and this and this while playing a Warlock. You really don't. You really don't have to make it this complicated. I really can just go Immolate into Agony, into Corruption, Immolate into Agony, into Corruption, Immolate into Agony, into Corruption, and then send my pet in. And you can see in the DPS in the bottom right, just by doing that, we're climbing the DPS. It's not like we're not dealing a significant amount of DPS. You don't have to play it perfect on a Warlock to deal decent damage. However, if you're gonna do stupid stuff, like cast, shit, well, that's my bad. I have a... Yeah, that's my bad. Frick.
Still recharging. That's still recharging. Not enough mana.
Sorry, if you're gonna cast something like a Hellfire, like this, you really need to know that it's gonna be a situation where, you can do it effectively and not get yourself into trouble.
That spell isn't ready.
Because if you do it and you put yourself in danger, then it puts your party in danger because they're losing that one more ally that they could have had. So that's why I make it such an important thing, because it takes your life, it takes your mana, it pulls aggro, and it deals a ton of damage. And so you need to know that you have that health stone up, you need to know that you have the siphon life up, you need to know that your priest's mana is above half,
Target something first.
um,
Still recharging.
or your healer. It doesn't have to be a priest. Priest is recommended though, because they can give you that shield and the they can give you that shield and they can give you that mana. Or sorry, not mana, healing over time. Healing over time. So yes, it's a lot. But it is not nearly as complicated as it needs to be. Especially if you're new to Warlock. Okay.
That spell isn't ready yet.
So for instance here, we're going to put a siphon life, put a siphon life, put a siphon life. We see the priest has mana, we see the mage is doing a blizzard, then we can hellfire. So despite we're taking our health, we're actually not going down that fast. Put some dots on the fire away thing, so that it'll die. Send your pet in. There we go.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast it. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. Let's get this party started.
Priests, man. But that's what I mean. I mean, that's just an enemy mob priest, and he just stays alive for so freaking long. And so that's why I think priests versus warlocks, you've got a whole party beating on a priest, and the guy's just going down so slowly.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still
So here we're going to do agony, 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 corruption, corruption, corruption,
that spell isn't
siphon
ready
life, siphon life, siphon life, siphon life. That takes us to about half mana, and then we can do our hellfire again. Make sure our pet's on an enemy. And because we know the blizzard's going off, we're able to deal so much more damage than the than the mage.
That's still recharging.
Here we're gonna cast an agony, get that going. Cast siphon life, siphon life, corruption, corruption. Then we can start on the immolates. But like right here, here's another thing. When the priests have their bubble up, they don't take threat from like high threatening moves, I feel like. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like it. So like things like swipes and AoEs, since it's not dealing damage to their life, it's dealing damage to their shield. More direct things like dots, where I'm actually casting it on you, is more threatening, and so I think we pulled aggro there. Because we cast 5 abilities on him. Even though they're dealing low damage over time, we casted 5 abilities on them. Yeah, because we got Immolate, Corruption, Agony, Siphon Life, and then Wanding. Right, so the 5 abilities. Oh, not to mention Pet. Yeah. Also, the rule of thumb of whether I decide to do an AoE move or not is 3 and above. If there's 3 or more enemies, I do an AoE. Whether it's Rain of Fire or Hellfire. So like here's a situation, we're gonna do Agony, 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 then we're gonna do Siphon Life, Siphon Life, Siphon Life, and Siphon Life, and then we're gonna go straight into the Hellfire. We're gonna skip Corruption, and the reason being is that if we wait too long, we won't be dealing damage to the max amount of people before everybody dies. See what I mean? We were able to cast our entire spell while mitigating the damage. From the Siphon Lives and stuff like that. Yeah, it was good. But again, if we take a look at our priests, he's below. Like he's below half mana after that fight because he's healing me too much. So for instance, right now would be a time where I don't do the AoE. Even though the mage is doing it right now, I'm just going to cast minor dots. Well, not minor, but like the dots versus actually doing a major AoE, on top of the fact that it was less than 3 people. Because my health with Hellfire is too mana intensive for the priest to keep me up and bubbled and healed. Jeez. This bear, man. Okay. We're gonna cast the Hellfire, although I think we're gonna pull aggro here. Yeah, we did. Okay, step back a little bit, go here. Okay, so now the priest is below half, we have aggro, we didn't do it as cleanly. So now I'm just going to try to dot up what I can. With corruption instead of agony, because corruption deals more damage than agony in the shorter amount of time. Shoot. Okay, bad play on me. I forgot about my pet. And so you see the enemies that came in? That was because of my pet. She just died. So, yeah, bad play by me. We are going to put Siphon Life on everybody to get the heals going in so we can life tap. We're going to... we're going to fear. We're going to fear one. Okay. Gotta see where he's running. I think he's fine. But we needed to mitigate some damage. He's on me. I'm gonna fear again so it doesn't go on wet silk. Shoot, I got interrupted.
That's still recharging.
Come on. Use this. Life tap. Mana drain. Or life drain. We got this. The priest is still alive. We're getting our health back. Gonna fear him again. Well, actually we're not. We're gonna just let it be. But yeah, that was all my fault. Unfortunately. They might not know that, but I know that. The fear was necessary, I agree. However, if I had reacted in time and thought about it, versus panicking, I could have seduced one of the people at the entrance and then feared another one to where my succubus wouldn't have died.
Now what?
On top of having 2 less people attacking the tank right off the bat.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Here's the most cinematic spell in the game, Tranquility. So cool. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like I mentioned before, we're getting a little bit carried by our healers and our tanks. Everybody's doing really good. Ow. We always lose the chest rolls. Like, I don't remember the last time I won a chest in a dungeon. Ah, we can't make it to the other candelabra.
That's still recharging.
Really? I pulled that quickly?
Cast that yet.
My bad.
That's still recharging.
Okay, good job. You stunned me. So that was a mistake. I have a spell called Amplify Curse, and it does exactly what it says. It amplifies my curses. And if I pick the first target to be amplified, it's going to die first, which means my Curse of Agony is not going to deal its most amount of damage. So you always want to pick the second target. That way you can get the damage rolling for as long as possible.
That's still recharging.
And part of what I feel makes a good player is not so much how many mistakes you do, but more about recognizing that you made those mistakes and then being like, hey, I need to fix this. Or like, hey, I know I did that mistake, here's what I should do instead. Time to pull back Succubus.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Get a Siphon,
That's
get a
still
Curse,
recharging.
get a Curse, get a Siphon, get a Siphon, Agony,
Need more
or
mana.
sorry, not Agony, Corruption. Use Health Stone,
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
AoE it, or left side of it.
That's still recharging.
I hate those mana burners. It sucks.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
Why? Why am I picking up aggro from him? This was the first mob that was attacked, and this second mob here is dying first.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Alright, so in this boss fight... it's funny. The druid is asking if... Or, sorry, not the druid, the priest. The mage, jeez. The mage is asking if everybody knows how to do this fight. For those that don't know how to do this fight, he does a giant fire AoE. When he says, everybody shall burn, and basically we just gotta run, we've gotta run out of the room. And the same thing goes with my, my pet. I'm gonna have to manually run her out of the room.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Thank you. I just need the dagger from him. Haha, he got sheeped. Alright, so he casted his bubble. Now everybody needs to run out of the room, around the corner. Now we can go back in. Silenced. So now we're just gonna wand him.
I can't cast that yet.
2, 1, back into spells. We're just casting Immolate and Corruption so that we have the dots, and then we're just gonna go back into wands. And then boom, our pet lives, everything is good. We roll need on the Hypnotic Blade. Bonk. And if we don't win, it's no big deal. Grats to the mage. Sad. That is okay. We will be running this again. Yeah, womp womp. For sure. That is sad, though, because we do want that blade. We'll be coming back here, but right now our one-handed weapon just gives us attack power. But it looked cool, so I'm like, all right, that looks cool. I think that looks kind of clean with the black robes and all that. I think that's Warlock, you know. Or if we're wanting to do the health version, we can do the black with the sparklies. I think that looks cool. But the dagger actually does stuff for us. So as much as that looks cool, the dagger's better for us.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast it.
Jeez, guys, why? Why?
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Really? I got stunned, god damn it. Ah, my gosh. Why? Stupid. Just stupid. Did nobody else not see the fact that we're missing a person and that we shouldn't blaze a trail? Good news is, the spirit healer is 2 seconds away. So it's not that big a deal. Still. Yeah, basically the respawn happened. But we're gonna leave party. We're done. Respawn happened, the entire party pulled, and we got screwed by it. What the heck? Is he following me? Oh no, he's just running back to his post, I guess. But yeah, there was respawn in the dungeon, we were running out, and people decided to blaze a trail even though we were missing 3, or not 3 people, but we only had 3 people, me included, in those 3 people. That was lame. 3 people viewing. Nope. I only see 2. Twitch is so funny. Oh. Or somebody was in there for like half a second. Alrighty, so we got all that done. We got some XP. We got to level 34, which is nice. So now we're going to go ahead and put on this new staff. It's going to give us a lot more stamina. Actually, no. It's going to give us the same stamina. A lot more intellect. Decent bit of spirit. So, boom. Very nice. We can get rid of the crescent staff. Yes. We're actually going to put the hood there. No, we're going to put that book there, because we're never going to get a Fell Hunter. Because it's such a stupid quest. Like, why would it say, like, oh, use this to summon the Fell Hunter, and then you turn in the quest and it gets rid of the book? Like, you would have to use the book to summon the Fell Hunter. But, like, if you don't remember that's what you were doing, because it takes a long time to do the quest, it's not like it was all on one continent. We had to go to, Hillsbrad, and we had to go all the way to Kalimdor, and in the Thousand Needles, we had to get something from... I didn't even know we had a quest turn in there. But in Thousand Needles, we had to get a book from this cave here. The Split Hood Crag cave. Which took us a day. Like, between the two different excursions. It took us like a day, all in all, to do. Yeah, it is a long chain. No, it's not even the chain. It's just the one quest. It's just one quest. Because we had to get a book from Hillsbrad and a book from Thousand Needles. And that took us more than one stream session. And so it was like... Okay, I don't remember what I was doing when I first read the quest. And then we screwed up. Which we weren't supposed to, but then we screwed up. And weren't able to summon the Fell Hunter, and then we came back. But then it's like, oh, it looks like we have to turn it in. There's a giant golden question mark in the middle of my face. So, I don't know. Anyway, we did end up doing the most damage. Doesn't mean most valuable player, though. I think Agamotto, our healer, did quite good. Holy Fire, that's the spell. That's the one I meant. With the holy damage dot for priest. But yeah, priests are powerful. I just don't know a lot about them. So as far as duels and stuff, I don't know. But I know Warlock does pretty well against any other class. Like, Warlock just kind of dominates. Warrior is a tough matchup. For some reason, it's a tough matchup. It's because they're so bursty. They just shred. And any healing or sustain that Warlock has with Mortal Strike, Warriors cut it in half.
Exactly what you need.
Thank you. Alrighty, good night, Batty Wampus. See you next time. Possibly tomorrow. I'll be streaming. We'll see. We've got a math project to do. Not that it's going to take long, I already did it, like most of it. I've done the math portion of it. I just now have to write it out, make a document, and make it pretty because my teacher's stupid and wants to be artsy instead of a math teacher. So that's not frustrating at all. But have a good night, sleep well. Thank you, thank you. Apparently. Yeah, apparently. It's because she's a student. She's a grad student who's trying to get into teaching. And so this is her, like, crash course teaching. Before she becomes, like, a substitute. So. It is what it is.
Trust no one.
What do you require? Dark lady, watch over you.
Can't see if I, Gotta see if I can sell this hood on the auction house. I don't think I'll be able to. Oh, it's soulbound. I won't be able to.
Be quick about your business.
Oh yeah, our guild tabard. I can't really see it. Costs a gold. I don't want to spend a gold on our guild tabard. I could care less. It does look good for the undead though. Oh, I forgot I joined a guild. Yeah, I'm part of Ritual. Only reason why I chose it was because of the name. It worked with being a warlock, and so I'm like, okay. Break. Anywho, we're going to ride to Arathi, actually, and from here, we're gonna go south to the wetlands to go pick up the rod, and then hopefully get our pet. It's very warm. In this room, it gets very, very warm. I mean, we can do Minesweeper between flights again. But I don't remember if people liked that. That's a bit better. We gotta figure out where we want to put our next talent point too. I'm trying to look up that guide that I was following. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not by no means by no means am I a good warlock. Oh, we do put a point into Nightfall, okay.
New got to be.
I'm gonna get banned for having that little itty bitty clip of an ad. That sucks. No, I'm not actually gonna get banned. I turned it off immediately though. It was just an AI voice. Alright, we need to put the point in. Duh. We're gonna take Nightfall. Sounds good. Alrighty, so, like I said, the reason why we're here, it's not for all these beautiful, beautiful quests. And it's not for bandage training, although getting close. Close to doing the triage, which we're
That better be good.
gonna need to do at some point. But we get to do the fun run. It's not actually that fun. Sucks. But it's kind of pretty. For those who like the pretty aspect of the game. I'm trying to ban this guy, but it's not letting me know. Oh. Ha! That's funny. I didn't know I banned him 6 times. Outlast Trials. Alright, Louis V, let's see this Outlast Trials thing. Oh, right. That was the thing where you had to put the bug, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember you telling me about this, actually. There's that thing where you could like mind control people to do what you want by putting a bug in their ear. So basically, it's people during the Cold War and doing brainwashing experiences on humans. It looks like. I'm just reading this off of Google. Sounds interesting, and if it's a survival game, it sounds like you gotta avoid being brainwashed. Or maybe you were brainwashed and you're trying to, like, remember everything you're going through. That would be an interesting thing. Sounds cool. I know a new game, I think by Blizzard, is getting play tested. It's called Legacy of Steel Swords and Magic or something like that. And it's an extraction game, kind of like Dark and Darker, which I haven't played in a while. But sounds like it's an extraction game. Right, well it is an extraction game. There's 4 classes as of now. There's Warrior, Rogue, Mage, and Priest. And what's interesting to me is that when I look it up, I have found Warrior, I have found Rogue, oh, and I forgot Hunter. Hunter is also one of the classes you can play. Oh, maybe Mage isn't. Maybe Priest is the Mage. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up now, because now I don't know. Legacy of Steel and Sorcery, that's the game. Classes. Oh, that's why there is no Mage. Duh. Okay, so there's Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, and Priest. So, it looks cool. I'm curious if they'll add more classes like Mage. I'm sure they probably will. I'm surprised they added Hunter and Rogue, though. Like, I would have thought Hunter/Rogue. Or like the Thief class or something like that, where like you use bows and daggers. But, cool. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have a Mage as the third thing. I understand having Priest. I do, because you need a healer. Especially if you're gonna do like team comp, like competitive scenes. Having a healer would be vital to those kinds of games where health is very important, and it's mainly the thing that you're worried about. I know, at least in Dark and Darker, if anyone has played that, health is everything in that game. And playing a mage, you're just so squishy solo. Whereas like having a priest and a mage, all of a sudden you're like a lot more powerful. Because you can heal your party and stuff like that. But definitely sounds like a cool game. Been watching that on YouTube quite a bit. Ugh. I'm not used to the whole talking thing. It strains the voice after a while. It feels like I'm trying to project my voice. Oh, looks like Miss Fervor's finally tuning in. She might join up in a second. She was she was painting and trying to blend colors. Didn't know she could paint. Actually, I didn't know she did it that much. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like she's going to tune in and maybe watch us for a bit. 5 viewers. And yet there's only 3 in the chat. Do viewers only, Where are you headed now? Hey! Hi, Miss Fervor. Hi, Gabs. For anybody who doesn't know, Gabs99 is my girlfriend. She's the one who played with us on Monday. However, right now we are headed into the wetlands. So this is a swampy marsh area, and our goal is to, one, not get flagged by a dwarf, but our goal is to go kill some orcs. We're trying to pick up a new pet, which I might have mentioned to you the other day, for our Warlock quest. But I am curious if viewers are separate from chatters, because it said 5 viewers, and yet there was only 2 of you in the chat.
That spell isn't ready yet.
So maybe you have to actively chat to show up in the chat room? Don't really know. But basically, we need to kill these orcs, and we need to get their rods. Once we get their rods, I think we turn those in to the Undercity, and,
That's still
once we do
recharging.
that, we can summon our Fell Hunter. But I'm not really sure, because I think we might have screwed up our quest, which kind of sucks.
That spell isn't ready yet.
So, we're gonna see. Why am I taking so much damage from these guys? I also don't want to, like, pull that.
I'm out of range. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. It's too far away.
I don't even remember what Nightfall procs off. Your corruption and drain life. I see, so I gotta use that and drain life. Okay. Sure. But I need you. Oh, I can cast Shadow Ward. I forgot about that.
Isn't ready.
Haha. Loosey, loosey, loosey.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Yes,
I
that's
can't do that
one.
yet.
But yeah, right now we're trying to get these little rods of channeling so that we can get our spells up and running. Can I banish undead? No. Lame. What I can do is cast that.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Nice.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
But I'd like to have more viewers. That'd be fun. Which is kind of what I was getting at. The most viewers I've ever had at a time was 3. So 5 viewers got me excited for a little bit. I was like, oh, cool, 5 viewers. That's crazy. Thought that was a nice little thing. Okay, now it wants me to go to, not Badlands, but I think Ratchet. Yeah. So, on the hearth to the Undercity, and then we're gonna go to Ratchet.
I need to target something first.
And hopefully,
What is it? Beware the
that will get us our book
I
back,
have exactly what you need. Trust
so that we can get our pet, we can train him up, we can train our skills up, and then go to bed. Because I'm getting tired. It's been a long morning. Woke up at 7:45 this morning, and for me, it's almost 11. Plus I had a day at school. Plus I've got all these things running in my head, stresses and worries and all of that. Lots of thoughts. Lots of talking. Not used to the talking thing. So I'm drinking so much water right now. But yeah, we'll head to Ratchet. We'll get our rods of channeling. And we still need to clean up Hillsbrad. We still got a few quests to do up in the top left. And then from there, I think we'll head maybe to Alterac. But I kind of want to go down to Stranglethorn Vale before it's too late. Because Stranglethorn Vale is 30 to 45. And I don't want to outlevel those tiger quests. We've just got so many quests. I don't even know if I want to do the elite stuff. Because, like, you kind of need a team for that stuff. forgot about Razorfen Downs. That's a dungeon we gotta go into too. Nomergon opened up, so we can start into Nomergon as well. We're just not getting the loot from the Scarlet Monastery. Is the problem. We don't need anything from Armory. Armory would just be for leveling up. The shoulders are okay. Just not totally what I want to do. The headpiece is nice. So we do it for the headpiece, we do it for the neck. But other than that, we would just need the dagger from the guy where the mage took it this go around, so that was unfortunate. And yeah, I'm just waiting on all that stuff to come our way. But yeah, now we're headed to Ratchet. Gonna go turn in that. You know, I've got Cheez-Its right there. I like Cheez-Its. But the problem is they leave that, like, not as bad as Cheetos, obviously, but like they do leave that little dust on your fingers, and I don't want to eat near my computer too much, because then I'd feel the need to like wash my hands, not to mention the microphone. I've also got Sour Patch Kids, which is the same problem. It's got that dust on the fingers. So I don't really want to eat. That kind of thing. Ugh. Just pulling my hair a little bit. So I pushed my headphones a bit forward so my hair might look a little goofy. Blog sauce and enma. I like apothecary. I think it's funny. And then you've got Ozzy Riz, Ozzy Riz. Just Nervok. That one's actually cool because you're an orc. Like this person's name is he's Sniped Down. Oogla. Adorkable. That's actually funny. Clown Puncher. This person's name is Dark. This person's name is Morgan. Foxy. I like the clever names, like the bowl. what was it called? A Durkable? Yeah, like I think that was kind of cool. Thank you, Gabs. I'll try my best, darling. You going to bed?
Straight.
What that text is, right there, chat, is that she just woke up because she fell asleep, and now she's typing, have fun, as like, oh, I've been here watching the whole time. She's texting me right now that she's going to bed. Guarantee it. Oh, there it is. Ha! But yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can do Minesweeper again. So for those who don't know how to play Minesweeper, each number represents where a bomb is. So like, this one is touching this tile, which we know is a bomb. And then this one is also touching this, and it's only touching one bomb, so we can go click, click, click. That's how Minesweeper 2 does. So 2 is touching 2 bombs, and it's only touching 2 tiles, these 2. So we know these 2 are bombs. This 2 is already touching 2 bombs, so we know that's safe. Click, 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 click. Right, and that's how you play Minesweeper. Hold on, chat. Gotta type good nights and stuff to the darling. Okay, we're back. But yeah, no, you kind of just click. Oops, that's not what I meant. But right click puts a flag, left click selects the tile. So that way, like, so the reason why we put flag on it is so that we don't accidentally click it, because I can left click it and it won't activate the tile. But anyway, we landed. So, get rid of Minesweeper.
Can I help you? For the Alliance. See you around.
For the Alliance. Alright, so, well done. The Tonical Ball, 3 pristine, slightly scratched, I suppose, rods of channeling. Okay, so this is correct.
Be careful.
Okay, guys. Using the Tonical Ball, summons
That was a good one.
Sounds good. Okay, are we supposed to use it? Oh, we have to follow you.
Greetings. See you later.
Okay. Do it RP style. I'm ready. We got this. We got this, chat. Oh, 'cause it's a greater minion. I see. Oh, that's sick. Is it my turn now? I think it's my turn. I don't want to quote a movie. I was gonna say a thing, but that might get me in trouble. Abracadabra, right? Oh shoot. What's funny is that not only can I fear him, I can also just banish him if I wanted. RP walk. Oh, was that spot not good enough so you had to walk over 2 inches? Okay.
What can I do for you? Have a good
Stupid.
one. See you around.
But thank you for the warlock.
You need something?
Pet. Appreciate it. Even though
For the
apparently I
Alliance.
can't
What can I do for you? Be careful.
talk to you. And we got a bigger box of souls, which is good news. Can I just replace it? Oh, I can. Blessed. Blessed be the bigger box of souls. That is huge for us. So, we're going to go ahead and sell that because we don't need to keep that. We are also going to summon our new pet, the Vel Hunter. So this will be sick. Arise, my demon dog. Alrighty. This is the Fell Hunter. He's got some abilities. Looks like he's got Devour Magic, so we already have that. However, that is not the ability. So now, as a Warlock, we can teach him something called Tainted Blood. So what this dude does is, when the Fell Hunter is hit with a melee attack, the attacker will lose 17 attack power. Stacks up to 5 times. So, assuming the Fell Hunter is being hit, he can reduce somebody's attack power. Whoop-de-doo. I don't think that's huge. I think that's meh. But let's go and see if at level 34 we get another ability for the Fell Hunter. Like I was talking to Batty Wampus, yeah. Batty Wampus. Like I was talking about to Batty Wampus earlier with the Fell Hunter. It's really powerful later in the game. I don't think it's as powerful now.
What's up?
But we're gonna go back to Orgrimmar. We'll pull up Minesweeper again. Go ahead and reset it. You guys can watch me play that. But yeah, like we're talking to the Batty Wampus. I think the Fell Hunter is a really good pet. I think it's super, super strong. The only downside is that it doesn't do a lot of damage, from what I know. Like, I don't think it deals hardly as much damage as the Succubus or the Imp. You know, I just think that it's a significant PvP minion. I just think in PvE it doesn't have a lot of uses. Other than if you were trying to do like something specific for the party, maybe. Like if you know like there's a boss where magic debuffs are going to be a problem. Like in Baron, right? Like the raid in Baron. I think Fell Hunter might be an okay-ish idea if you want to be like somebody who can dispel. I'm sure there's uses for that. But other than that, I don't know. It just seems counterintuitive for a Warlock to use something that's not either dealing damage or has something like it has more CC like a Succubus. Because at least I know with a Succubus, 1, 2, 3, 4. At least I know with a Succubus, I can CC. I can seduce something to where creatures aren't attacking me. Or with the Voidwalker, I can straight up just off tank something. You know? With a Succubus, you just can't. Right? And with a Fell Hunter, you just can't because he's not dealing high enough damage to pull off of you. On top of the fact that you're not dealing, on top of the fact he's not taunting, on top of the fact that you can't CC, and a million other things. So, in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's really like just kind of a pet. You know, I'll test it out maybe and see how much damage it's actually doing in a dungeon, but I have never seen a Warlock use Fell Hunter other than PvP. In PvP, it's great. Once it gets its spells and abilities, it's absolutely fabulous. I think Fell Hunter is a great addition to the Warlock kit, if not broken to the Warlock kit, because of how good it is with the silence and the purge buffs thing. Because you could be up against a paladin, you could be up against a priest, you could be up against another warlock, and if you get lucky with one of the purges and like removing a buff that they have, that's huge. Right? If you remove like my sacrifice from my Voidwalker, huge. If you remove the bubble off of a priest, huge. If on a mage you remove his arcane intellect or his frost shield or his mana shield, huge. Right? Like, all of these things are like very, very, very significant for the Warlock. You know, it's the matter of dealing damage directly versus not dealing damage at all. Where is the demon trainer?
What can I
There's the
help you
demon
with?
trainer. So, we are level 34. So, new rank of Fire Shield for the Imp. So let's just go ahead and summon that while we're looking. Already have that. So, new rank Consume Shadows, which... whoop-de-doo. New rank of Soothing Kiss, again, kind of whoop-de-doo. And it looks like that's it. 36. 36 is what we want. So, 2 more levels before we get Spelllock. And again, what Spelllock does is it silences somebody when they're casting a spell. But I mean, the amp, it gives you the stamina, it gives you the fire shield, it has phase shift, so it's invisible, and that doesn't cost mana, whereas the succubus's does. Voidwalker, you know, it's got the sacrifice for the 730 bubble. All of these are good for PvE. Like, killing mobs in the world. Right? Whereas, like, a Fell Hunter, like, it literally does nothing. It's not a tank. It's not immune to charm. Right? It can be charmed. Because it's just a demon. Right? You gotta keep that in mind. The succubus is vulnerable to the same thing that an imp is, that a voidwalker is, and Fell Hunter, Fell Guard, the giant rock thing. That warlocks will get. They're all vulnerable to the same thing. So they'll still get banished. They'll still get polymorphed. They'll still get stunned. Still get put to sleep. Unless that rock thing counts as an elemental. But I'm pretty sure it counts as a demon. Because I can cast Enslave Demon on it. Which I actually don't know where that is on my bar. I don't know if I have it on my... Oh, I have it over here. But, yeah, it's all these things. It's like... Okay, so what does a Fell Hunter bring to a table? Spelllock. We don't have access to it. So. Oh well.
What are you looking for?
Anywho, guys, I think this is going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for bearing with us on that stupid slip-up that we did the other day. We're going to call it a night, so for those of you who are watching on YouTube and watch to the end, please like and subscribe. Both are free, and it'll let you know when another one of my uploads are when I upload another video. So you guys will be able to continue in our progression. I'm thinking on next time we're going to finish up Hillsbrad Foothills and then move on to Arathi Highland, while also maybe doing some Scarlet Monasteries. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'm going to be closing out.